You have activated the podcast from the Psycon Network.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to Retrograde, the show where we this is episode number 31, and today we're discussing the Mega Drive / Genesis title Sonic the Hedgehog. My name is Jack Marshall. I'm joined today by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
And James McFadden.
Hi.
And joining us today is special guest games developer Mark Toole.
Hello.
A friend of the show, I think we should call him.
Friend of the show, sorry, I should go for. He's not a friend of the
Where's
show.
the Sam?
He's an enemy of the show. The Sam's away, she's in the West Country on a holiday.
Zan couldn't be with us.
Which is weird, because West Country and holiday don't normally go in the same sentence.
Ooh.
Sick burn.
Oh dear.
Sick.
She did send us a review for Sonic the Hedgehog, though I'll be reading out later in her voice, if I can. So that should be fun.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Lazan for sure. What's everyone been up to? Who wants to go first? Anything interesting going around?
I finally got around to playing Dishonored.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
every
not
time
really.
I log on to Steam, you're playing that now.
That's because the only time I'm on Steam is when I play Dishonored.
How are you enjoying it?
I don't... Having so many paths to choose from kind of gives me choice paralysis.
You're going around slashing everyone in the face, aren't you?
Yeah, choice paralysis is the thing, but
cut
yeah,
everyone
I
off.
like the fact that if you mess up, it doesn't really punish you that much. So,
Yeah.
unlike a game, I don't know, Deus Ex, Human... I was about to say Human Resources. Human Revolution. If you mess up the stealth in that, it kind of messes you up for the rest of the level, but in this, it's more forgiving, so I like that aspect of it.
Are you going full stealth? Or
No,
Or not?
I'm going mostly killing.
Yeah.
Because
I
I,
find it's really
I
fun.
keep messing things
You're
up.
gonna get the bad ending.
Yeah, I would.
Well, apparently the bad ending's more exciting, so...
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
still a bad
got bored.
ending.
I got bored because I was going full stealth and I'd knock over like a plant or something and everyone come running and kill me and I was going, oh, screw this. So I just start stabbing them all. I played for about an hour and got
it
bored.
works really well when you get the teleportation thing and you get like
Link.
the perk that means when you kill someone in stealth they just like disintegrate and there's no body.
yeah.
When you get all that together you can just like zoom about like a ninja killing people left, right and centre. It doesn't matter because nobody sees you.
And I really like the kind of disgraced, extremely competent bodyguard storyline.
With a mask.
Well, the mask really helps the imagery, but you don't really see it unless you're putting it on.
Did you notice the really massive similarities to Half-Life 2 like throughout all of the levels?
Yeah, wasn't it the same art director?
Yeah. So
It's true.
Some
Yeah.
of it seems lifted right out of
I almost think
Half-Life.
it's a
though.
Bioshock.
Like the
very-
Striders.
Yeah.
But you get the same art director, he's going to have the same style, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah, true.
We had mine and Mark's birthday this weekend, so a bit of fun. We said we'd try and buy each other the crappiest game we could find. And Mark went, yeah, let's do this. And then Mark forgot he'd already got me a game.
Yeah.
So come our birthday, we share the same birthday. We're not brothers or anything. We do. But come our birthday, he got me Tomb Raider. I got him Championship Jockey.
Bloody brilliant. Love
Bloody
Championship Jockey.
He's been loving it.
I've been playing it non-stop. It's actually
Yeah?
genuinely really fun. Well,
It's not a like jokey one. It's a simulation.
it's a
jockey.
proper simulator.
People
Does it
love
have
this.
does it have like real life jockeys so you get to make your own?
No,
your own
you get
image?
to make your own. So you set up a character with, so you can choose your racing silks and all that, and then you can breed a horse, train your horse, and then enter loads
Now
of
the
events.
breeding of the horse, what form exactly does this take in the game?
It comes with some pretty inventive peripherals for the console. The fact that it came
Yeah,
with, when he bought it used, was a great find for Jack.
Yeah, it's really hard though. It's really, really, really hard. I've been getting really
The
annoyed.
peripheral.
You've been running
Yeah,
through.
that's what
You've been
she
running through Syndicate in like no problem at all.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
yet I can hear you as someone going, "Bloody horse, run! I whipped it too early." And
I
stuff
can't get that final like stretch. I can't get that down.
It's always the same.
I
You
do
run
really
for
well.
900 furlongs or whatever it is that horses run, and then you get to the last 100 and every other horse overtakes
Yeah.
him. And he's
It's-
like, "No!"
It's got a really weird thing. It's by Koei, I think, and it's got a story, like an actual story. It's one of
Really?
these. Yeah, it's one of these games with lots of talking anime heads, and they just go on and on and on and on about.
Is it a legitimate jockey story? Is it like you've got to save the world by running in these races?
It might as well be
defeat the
saving the
wizard?
world. Like, so you start out as like a small time jockey in a stable, and it's you and like 3 other jockeys, and then you will go your separate ways, and then you're brought back together through
As
racing.
rivals?
Yeah.
No,
For the final.
Yeah.
It's like a rags to slightly more colourful rags story.
They're called silks.
I'm going to finish it. It's gonna be brilliant.
I've been playing Tomb Raider, which I know it's quite old, but it's really good. I really like it. Although I was saying to Mark, it might as be called like Tomb Raider starring Lara Croft getting 10 bells of crap knocked out of her, because all the way through it's just like horrific. Like, oh bloody hell!
Yeah.
Like really quite. I mean, it's weird. It's not as violent as other games, but it feels really violent.
Well, the death scenes are really violent.
Well, I was trying to think why it was so like it's so violent, but the reason it is, it's not because it's like Lara's like a girl and she's getting like she does get like so much crap knocked out of her. I got gored by a ball last time I played it.
Man.
But like it's the fact that like she'll be getting choked to death, and it'll be like it'll just be a quick time event of like press Y to get out of it, and it feels it's a kind of the juxtaposition of this horrible violence, and then press B. And if you don't press it in time, she gets horribly killed.
I heard that the story for that game kind of it starts with like her being really horrified when she first kills someone. Then like 5 minutes later, she's massacring everyone just like with
well,
ease.
it's kind of it's that classic problem of like the cutscene will be her going, "Oh my god, I'm so injured. How am I going to get through this?" And then you take control and start running around, jumping into walls, setting fire to things. It's
some sort of pseudo-intellectualists have called that ludonarrative dissonance. It's a thing that Last of Us did really well, because the characters and the cutscenes are quite similar to the ones in gameplay.
It definitely. I mean, it's the story so far has been quite good, but it has just been literally like. Yes, I mean, no spoilers, but she called a plane, the plane crashed, and oh my god, I found, it's gone down as well. It's like they try every possible, I mean, she's been kidnapped already about 4 times.
I see.
It's getting a bit ridiculous, like, oh my god, Lara, just hide under a rock.
I find it slightly amusing because you only just started owning Tomb Raider, but for a while now you've owned a Tomb Raider Special Edition 360 controller.
Oh yeah, I love that controller.
And if you don't play it with that controller, then I'm gonna...
my controller, well, I've been really stupid, I should have brought it in here, but I decided I'd try spray paint one of my controllers. So I brought a little screwdriver, undid my controller, spray painted it pink, and I've just completely broken the controller. Like, I tried to put it back together, and it... Like, I put it all back together, spray painted it, and it looked rubbish. I saw these guys on, like, Reddit posting there, like these people who... And I tried to build a PC. These people who build PCs with lights in and windows on. Yeah. I thought, must be pretty easy. They're all doing it. It's really hard.
Wait, you're talking about the controller or the PC now?
Now, well, kind of a bit of both, but no, because...
Jack, you haven't begun to build your PC. You're talking about buying...
sorry, I'm now running into
like
another topic.
half of it pre-built.
Well, no,
because you're scared of putting the CPU into the motherboard.
Well, because in my defence, I created a Facebook chat with you two and a few other people who helped me with PC, and it became a competition of, you should get NVIDIA, you should get ATI, you should get this. Make sure your PSU's got 450 watts.
That's half of the enjoyment of building a PC. Is having
but I
arguments.
want someone just to go, Jack, get this one, this one, this one.
I linked you to like a beautiful web page. It was very colourful.
But then you laughed at it and said, but only morons use this website.
No, I didn't.
The one with the colours. And I didn't like the fact that I said my budget was £400, so I was going down the list to see where would £400 get me. It gets me to fair. 400 quid for a PC gets me fair.
That's going to last you like a good half decade.
Fair to me.
If you were talking about a woman, fair would be a very good descriptor.
Yeah.
They use that to describe very attractive women. So I think fair is a
bit of dosh, man.
You would be lucky to have fair.
I pay a lot more than 400 for a fair woman, I say that. No, I mean, like...
Okay, let's not get into prostitution.
Yeah, let's not get that far. No, but
I think fair women are priceless.
It was going down, and they were running out of terms to describe how good the computer get. And like, you get to like $2,000, they were like, excellent. Excellent. $2,000 gets me excellent.
Yeah, I think it would be excellent. Yeah.
I haven't bought a graphics card since like Voodoo 3, when there was like the big eyes on the box. You used to get a copy of Tomb Raider with it, literally Tomb Raider 1. And now it's like graphics cards. I've got fans that are bigger than like an iPad, and they're like bloody like 400 quid for a graphics card. Yeah. Just go buy a PS4.
Imagine if they gave you a copy of the 2003 Tomb Raider with a Voodoo 3. It's like you won't be able to play this for about 20 years. But believe me, it'll be amazing. If you could play this right now, it would blow your mind.
I remember buying a Packard Bell back in about 2000 and being convinced like this is a computer for life. But I'm never going to need anything.
Yeah,
it's got a DVD rewrite.
Yeah, man.
I remember when Packard Bell was relevant.
Yeah, I had a Packard Bell a while back.
Yeah, we did as well.
Great.
I had Gateway. One of those gateways, and it came with a zip disk.
Oh man, the future.
Never need more storage.
Never again.
But the way the industry's going, like if you build this PC and you don't cheap out on the PSU and explode your entire thing and probably kill yourself, then it's going to last you like 10 years. It's going to last so long.
New consoles, James.
Really?
New consoles.
Yeah, but the new consoles, if you actually look at the hardware,
like
you
no way.
10 years.
No, honestly. Well, it's going to be able to play games that are released 10 years from now. I guarantee it, because the way the hardware.
You sound like a salesman.
And all that and more for €499 a month. No, honestly, the way the hardware's progressed with like the consoles, they're so far behind now. It's going to take like another generation to catch up to where PCs are right now.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, I won't go into too much detail because it's pretty goddamn boring, to be honest.
I know.
But yeah, I need to look into it. I tried today to do PCpartpicker.com, and it was like I tried to put all the bits I wanted. It was like 650 quid, and I was like, oh bloody hell! It's just scary. I don't even know if I got the right stuff. I was just going to throw it in a box and just wrap it together and hope it fits.
Just like on the picture on the front of the box, like what? How colourful it is.
Just like I'm going to buy
this woman has large breasts, so I must have this graphics card.
I'm going to buy the case first and then just work my way in, I guess, by the case.
And that's going to be your new house.
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy the house and work my way down.
Speaking of giving away games...
Oh, I was going to ask James what he's been up to.
Feel free to come on the offense. You've all had your little moment.
Well, I think James has talked enough, actually.
Oh, really? That's funny.
James might have something fascinating to share.
Oh, he might.
Oh, well.
Come on, James, what have you got to share with us?
Dark Souls. I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls. It's almost perfect. If you're on the fence, if you've been wondering about it, buy it, play it. It's good.
Really?
Genius.
I've been on the fence about Dark Souls for quite a while.
It's not for you, Jack. It's not for you.
Why is it not for me?
I just don't recommend it for you. For everyone else, maybe, but not for you.
Speaking of perfect, I have decided that I don't really like The Last of Us anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tried playing it a bit more. I'm about halfway through the game. I'm a bit more than halfway through the game. No, I haven't completed it yet. And I've decided that it's not... I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is.
Why?
Because...
My Mark's a bit of a hipster.
That's not true. The combat against humans, wicked. Love it. Combat against the affected, I find incredibly boring.
Really? How so?
Yeah. Well,
Those
clickers.
clickers.
Clickers at the beginning of the game, I was quite afraid of them. And as I went on, I got less and less afraid, which I guess is probably how they envisioned it happening. But now it's just like I have no trouble with them at all. Like it's just like it's clicker, clicker, clicker.
What section of the game are you at?
So I'm.
Are you two?
You just met Ellie.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just at the bit where I'm with the guy and his son, and we're walking through.
I see, because I understand what you mean, but you're kind of the difficulty progresses, and you start to get like more varied enemy types with the undead.
I'm hoping
they make it more difficult.
Like everyone was saying, how there's a section in the hotel basement, right?
Yeah.
Where you're on your own, and I didn't have. I was just like, I just walked through that. I didn't really have a problem with it at all. No, like I saw there was loads of infected, so I just shot them. You know. Didn't.
You shot them. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, because I save all my ammo for bits when I really need it.
Yeah.
And I loads. Oh, sorry, I have loads of ammo.
There is a difficulty slider.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need. Still, I'm just too good for it.
Is that your only problem with the game?
Plus, it's really repetitive. Most of the game for me is finding a ladder, carrying it, putting it against a wall.
Yeah, but then I mean, most action games are.
Oh no, I'm not saying. Like, it's not bad. It's just not. Groundbreaking.
Mark's also dead inside, so
it doesn't help.
Okay. Although to be fair, there was one thing that did actually good influence me a lot. We played Walking Dead just before we got Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I think that. Well, I haven't even played The Last of Us yet. I'm looking forward to maybe giving it a go. But I think the emotional attachment was probably deteriorated a little bit because we played The Walking Dead just before.
I think The Walking Dead's writing in particular was quite hackneyed and cliched compared to The Last of Us.
Beautiful. It's lovely.
You can tell that it was written by men compared to Amy Hennig for The Last of Us. Cause
I shed a manly tear at the end of Walking Dead.
I still haven't actually completed The Walking Dead, so I need to get on that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very
I'm not saying The Last of Us is really bad, but I'm just saying that I don't think it's...
Yeah?
It's not the gaming Jesus.
Well, it always has.
The gaming Jesus.
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Mark. The gaming Jesus.
Okay, well, we better get on with this game, Sonic the Hedgehog, we're going to be talking about today. So, before we do this, have a brief blurb on the game from the founder of Cyclone.net, Brecky W.K. Thomason.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a platform video game developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis and Sega Drive home consoles. Released in 1991, the game is the first in the long-running Sonic the Hedgehog series, chronicling the adventures of the spiky hedgehog in his quest to defeat the series antagonist, Dr. Robotnik. The first game story focuses on Sonic's effort to stop Dr. Robotnik's plans for world domination, release the animals that Dr. Robotnik has trapped, and collect 6 magical emeralds known as the Chaos Emeralds. Development of Sonic the Hedgehog began in 1990 when Sega ordered AM8 development team to develop a game featuring a mascot for the company. After a hedgehog was decided on as the main character, the development group was renamed Sonic Team. Sonic the Hedgehog received positive reviews from critics who praised the game's visuals. It was commercially successful, increasing the popularity of the Sega console and establishing Sonic the Hedgehog as the company's mascot. Its success led to the development of subsequent games in the Sonic the Hedgehog series, as well as the creation of a media franchise of spin-off products featuring the character.
Thanks very much for that, Brecky. Let's roll straight into the thing everyone's here for. Da-da-da-da-da. Competition time.
I'm not sure everyone's here for that. Hopefully they're here for the actual game talk.
Did I win?
But no,
I'm
it's
hoping I won.
Bring it, Anthony.
time for this episode's edition of the Paul Monahan giveaway, in which last episode we announced we're giving away Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year edition. It's a Steam code, right?
SteamCon. Oh, yeah.
But the winner...
Better than Arkham City, in my opinion.
It is better than Arkham City. Yeah.
The winner who we...
Arkham City.
Ooh.
But,
Go on.
hey.
The winner who we chose at random just before we started the show is... Janosch.
Yeah. And I guess we should mention Janusz has been was our first ever reviewer on iTunes
He might have been,
ago.
but he's...
a year ago.
He's essentially our number one fan, I
Yeah,
think.
he's been listening for years, so I'm very happy. I hope he hasn't already got it.
Well done, Janosch.
And I've got him on Steam, so I can just easily send it to him pretty quickly. So I'll probably just send him on to the show.
Yeah. So Janosch will be sending you a game. And do we have a game we're giving away next episode?
We do, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So
We can always announce it on Twitter.
we will
again.
just tweet about it. And,
Yeah, we'll tweet about
the
it.
usual. If you've entered, like you do have a good. We've had a good chance to win. You're all in there.
Yeah.
I feel bad. People think, oh, what Janosch won? Oh man.
With most competitions like this, you have almost zero chance of winning. But actually, this one's pretty
got
good
loads.
because we get like 15 entries.
We should enter. To be
Yeah.
honest, we should get our friends to phone in. Don't phone in. We haven't got a phone. Yeah, so
Between the four of us, we have not got a phone.
Enter the competition. You need to follow us on Twitter at Retrograde Show, and then when we tweet, retweet this to enter the competition. Simple as that. At Retrograde Show.
Or if you tweet at us,
or just tweet.
then we'll include you as an entry as well.
Yeah. Hashtag I love this show.
Yes,
Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog was chosen by you, Anthony, wasn't it?
it was.
Go ahead. What did you? Why? Who? How? And what?
Well, I think Lizanne chose Super Mario World for one of her shows because it was a big game in her childhood. And Sonic, similarly, as listeners of the show might realise, I had a Mega Drive when I was young, a Genesis.
You and your brother did.
Yes, rather. There was a Genesis in the family. And my brother had Sonic 1, not Sonic 2, and we played a lot of it. So it's a big part of my childhood, and I was thinking it might be good to go back and cut through the nostalgia, approach it with fresh eyes, as it were, as an adult, with my critical abilities intact,
Right.
and all that.
So as a kid, you thought it was
Balls.
the bee's knees, the bear's honey.
I think when you're that young, you think of games differently. Like, every game can be really good just because it's something that entertains you and distracts you from nothing else.
Yeah, kids are stupid.
Because there's nothing to do otherwise.
From the torture of being a child.
But as an adult, you basically have to only play really, really good games because there's so many bad games and so much else you have to do with your time that
Yeah.
that now you can just pick and choose. But as a child, you're like, any game, give it to me, I'll put it in and play it for 16 hours just today.
Fair enough.
So we played a lot of it. I'm not sure if I find it, I think, well, there are things I like about it compared to... I think there's going to be a lot of comparisons to Super Mario World during this episode. Because,
Okay.
well, I'm going to make a lot of comparisons.
Okay. Go on then.
But the first thing I noticed that I really like about it is you turn on the game, you press start, and you start the game. Unlike in Sonic 2 even, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, there's like a menu system. In this, you just press start and you're in.
Yeah.
Which is rare these days, but I realise so are manuals. So anything that would have been explained in like a menu system or a tutorial in this game was explained instead in the manual they gave you, which consisted of more than 2 pages on how to quick start. So I like that you get straight into it. It's pretty nice. There are some like janky things with it, like the slope. Well, no, the slope physics I like actually, because if you like right at the start, we're actually watching on the TV screen right now, and it's on Emerald Hill. No, is this Emerald Hill?
Yeah.
Or Green Hill?
Yeah, Green Hill.
I get mixed up between this one and the second one. But on right at the start, Green Hill Zone, if you just stand still and press jump, you'll move back and forth in the air because you're on a slope and it affects how you jump. And I like that kind of thing was included because it's not just jumping straight up all the time. So they put a lot of effort into the actual platforming physics itself, which I think is a nice attention to detail, but there's not a lot of else they could have paid attention to be honest. The music is not very...
Good.
The music is not as memorable as something like Super Mario World or other big platformers, but I think the invincibility music has stuck with me for the rest of my life.
No, wait.
Green Hill Zone's got really
The
good.
Marble Zone music is
Which-
fantastic.
I was the same.
I
before
think
the-
the best music is the Night Sky Twilight Zone.
I was saying before the show, I don't even know why, and I actually thought it was in the game, but it's not. For some reason, I always thought the music literally went Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, 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 like that. And I realised that was just me sitting as a kid, just singing. My mum and dad must have been like, "Oh, what?"
Your parents walking in, you're staring at like a blank television, holding a newspaper.
We need to talk about Jack.
I like the if you get hit, the rings flat if you get a chance to
it's
collect
nice.
them. It puts an element of skill into surviving.
It's a really good mechanic.
And I like it especially because, as I talked in the Super Mario World episode, if you get hit in that game, you basically get demoted, and it makes the game harder because you get smaller or you lose your power. Whereas in this, you get hit and it doesn't get any harder. You just have to find the rings again, and then you're back to full fighting strength. So it's a simple mechanic, and it doesn't mean that if you get hit,
Well, I
you're
mean, it's a
disadvantage.
replacement of lives, pretty much. And the same with
Yeah.
the shield. It's kind of the shield is another additional life, but in a really clever way. And it's kind of it's strange because you don't feel. I never felt bothered losing the shield. I mean, it was still annoying, but I got bothered when I lost the rings.
Yeah.
It's really strange. Yeah, maybe it's just a graphical element of the rings exploding out of Sonic, and you being like, "Oh my god, I collected all of those." But it's funny because the rings and the shield are pretty much the same thing. They do the same
Yeah.
job. They protect you for one.
Put
hit.
more effort into getting the rings, though. You had to go around harvest them.
It's very clever.
But I think it's a much. There's no saving, which kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
Because you have to. It's like a arcade game. You have to play it all the way through in one
Yeah, I
go.
find that really weird.
But I realised as I was playing this more recently that it has a level select, which modern games don't have. So I was kind of approaching it from that modern context, where if a game now didn't have a save system, it would be ridiculous. But since you could find the level select cheat for this game and just play any level you wanted, if you didn't want to go through the whole thing again, that sort of negates that. But there might have been kids who didn't know about the level select and were just really annoyed that they got to the last level and died.
I find the whole thing like that is really strange. It seems like it's a 16. Oh, it's going to sound really bad. It's a 16-bit game, but a lot of the mechanics are kind of from the 8-bit era. Because like you're saying, there's no saving.
Yeah, and
There's
SNES
points.
games all had
points that do nothing.
batteries in the cartridge, right, to save.
Do you think it was more though, rather than Mario with progression? This wasn't really about progression. It was more the experience and the
Yeah,
challenge. of
it's
it.
a much shorter game.
It's very visual.
So that there's definite
no,
differences, and I was going to talk about that later because there's a context this game came into. But doesn't it's strange because it's a simpler game in many ways than Super Mario World, but it doesn't feel as well designed. Like they obviously didn't put as much effort into it because there are some bits, like if you stand on a slope, your feet will. I mean that probably happens in Mario as well, but there are little bits that kind of stick out to you as a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it might have been that they were rushing to develop it to, because it came out a year after Mario, so maybe they had a deadline.
Mark Cherney was talking about his time at Sega, and apparently they had a reputation for just shoving stuff out. Like the head honcho at Sega in charge of games development was basically quantity over quality.
Oh no, I heard.
And so they were just churning them out. But Sonic was the first one, after they saw the sales just doing absolutely nothing, Sonic was the first game in which they said, right, let's pump money into this, let's make it good, let's see what can happen. And they actually took the time with it, and they got their mascot for Evermore, essentially.
Well, I was going to say there's little bits like the fact that it's Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and yet there's already a team called the Sonic Team, and the fact that this was going to be, I think this was going to be a replacement mascot for, I want to say Alex the Kid,
Yeah, it was
or something
Alex
like
Kidd,
that.
yeah.
And it's very funny how even like even on the title screen, the Sega logo appears below the Sonic the Hedgehog logo. So yeah, I think you get the impression from this one that they had maybe not a lot riding on it, but they had a lot of hopes for it. They were like, we're gonna this will be big for us.
They invested massively in it. So.
Anyway, sorry, go on, Anthony.
Well, no, those are my points for now. Later, I want to talk about the context of when Sonic
Stay tuned
arrived
for
on the
that.
scene.
Then can't wait.
But I think I'd let, because I've been talking for a while, so I think I'll let you guys say what you thought about the game.
Mark, want to go next?
Right. I never had a Mega Drive when I was growing up. I had an NES. I know. Oh. So I didn't play this until I was a bit older. It's definitely a product. Yeah, definitely a product of its time. Like I can't think of many other games which exemplify kind of the 90s more than Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, we had Toe Jam and earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Toe Jam and yeah, that's another good one.
Well,
if you look at things like the colour palette, there's lots of purples and that light green, kind of
Teal.
aquamarine green. Yeah, they were very big in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
they were so hot right now.
To piggyback on that point a second, I feel like, to use a not very nice phrase, Sega hoard out Sonic more than Nintendo did Mario. I think the uses of public imagery of Mario were probably people doing it themselves, whereas Sega probably sold the likeness quite a lot to different companies.
I know, I agree with that.
But I wasn't really paying attention at those years, so maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, Mario had a lot of crap. He was pedalled a lot. Anyway, yeah, I do like it. It's not bad. I find it's a vertical platform. It's a lot of verticality in it, which I find a bit unsettling just because I'm not used to it. Mainly because I'm used to Mario games where it's much more horizontal. And I think it suffers a little bit for that because there's a lot of times where you'll have to take a kind of a leap of faith and hope that there's something underneath you, which isn't great.
Seems like all the verticality in Mario was for secrets.
Yeah,
they would just hide stuff in the
and
top.
Mario would only ever go up, whereas this does go down.
But it
quite
does
a lot.
open up, like in this game, you do have many paths you can choose for most of it, whereas in Mario it was pretty much.
But there's not much reward for finding different
It's
paths.
like just a different course, like a different.
Yeah, I guess if you have replayability, it's.
There's only one level though, and it carried on for all of the Sonic 2D game. There's only one level that's got 2 exits, and only occurs in one level and never again in a Sonic game, apparently.
In this
in
game,
a Sonic
or
2D game, it's in this game. One of the levels has 2 exits. Apparently.
What level is it, Jack?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Save it for trivia later. Stay tuned. You'll hear that later.
On note of the levels as well, I find the level design is really good, but at the same time, it's really frustrating. Like I can imagine some of the programmers chuckling away as they put spikes down just where you would land your jump and things like that. So it's really nice, but at the same time, it's really.
I think it's designed very much like an arcade game.
Oh no, yeah,
they're trying to get you to waste lives.
Well, I mean, it's Sega, so
yeah, it shouldn't be because it was like a primarily home console game.
But it was in arcades, right?
Was it?
No, I don't think so.
No, really?
No, I don't think it was.
Oh man.
Only...
I think it may be after the game was released on Mega Drive. It might have got an arcade version.
Yeah.
But I
They
don't
usually
think it was
do,
before. But I don't know. Should have got that trivia. Sorry,
should have got that trivia. No, not much else. I like it, but it's not my favourite Sonic game. In my opinion, Sonic 3 is much better than this. I mean, I can kind of forgive this because it's the first one, so it's going to be a bit unrefined. But I don't know. I can't really get past the fact that it seems to be more style over substance than Mario. Oh, not than Mario. I don't want to compare it to Mario.
Do it, Mark.
No, I'm not comparing
Join
it
the
to
club.
Mario. No.
Mario.
I don't get the comparisons with Mario.
No, I shouldn't. Yeah, because I don't
agree
think
a
it is
little
very. I don't think it's that similar to Mario.
It's not even really a standard platformer, is it? I mean, it's kind of a combination between a platformer and a racing game. Like you've got reminds me a lot of Super Meat Boy. Actually, you've got the sort of get from A to B idea in your head from the get go, but it's also about how you do it and how fast you can do it, and sort of lining up the bits of the level to.
Yeah, it's like planning your route kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's fast?
It's faster than any other platform at the time was.
Yeah, this was like blistering speed.
Nowadays, no.
No, these days it's
you're right,
deceptively
Bowser.
fast. In the film Born Supremacy, that was the second one, right?
Can't wait to see how you make this link. Go on.
I'm gonna. Born Supremacy, I think was the second one.
Matt Damon drove a car pretty fast.
Except that he didn't, and that's the point. There's a chase scene in Paris, and
I
because
remember that one. Yeah.
Paris wouldn't let them drive cars too fast, so they had to drive all the cars in this high-speed chase scene at 30 miles an hour, and then just film them all really close. So it was deceptively fast, just like this is, I think.
Oh, and then just dubbing a motor sound over the top.
Oh yeah, they'd put in like big engine sounds, but actually they're just rolling along.
But if you look at the edge of the screen there, that is moving way faster than any other game at the time.
Much faster than Matt Damon in Born
I
Supremacy.
don't know. Like the game, people always go on about how Sonic games are all about speed. It's all about speed, and I kind of disagree with that because it's more about like what you were saying, James, about planning your route. And there's a lot of levels in this game. Yeah, Marble Zone and I think Labyrinth Zone in particular, where you can't go fast. You have to stop.
I guess before I go on, I've got Lizanna, which can't join us, but I think you picked this game with Anthony just to kind of tease Lizanna a little bit to see what she thought.
Well, no, it was another game that
Are you
we
a bit
probably should have
disappointed?
done, and I knew. So.
But I did ask her to send us a review, so Lizanna sent me to. She said, "My uncle had a Mega Drive when we were growing up, and the big treat was visiting him and getting to play Sonic. I do like the game, but obviously everyone draws parallels with Mario. As an adult, I have since bought Sonic games on Steam, and I like playing them, but they aren't as enjoyable for me as Mario. Are they on Steam? As me as Mario. I can appreciate the funky music, the comedy characters, the quality of animation, and the irony of Sonic being a hedgehog, a notoriously slow creature. Which, sorry, Lizanne, we were saying this. If I was saying this,
No, I agree with Lizanne.
No, if I was on like Family Fortunes and they said, name 10 slow creatures, and I went hedgehog, it wouldn't be up the board. It wouldn't
Hedgehogs
be there.
are pretty slow.
They are very slow.
They get run over on the roads because they're so slow.
See, I wouldn't have thought they were slow either. I wouldn't say, someone, name a slow animal. I wouldn't go hedgehog.
I think the only reason hedgehogs aren't named when they're slow is because there's other animals you can name.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do Sonic the
Jack, I would
Sloth.
say that you could probably almost certainly outrun a hedgehog yourself.
Oh yeah, but that's it.
Almost certainly. There's a chance.
I haven't seen you run
cat.
recently, but
There's a chance you would get ahead, then have a nap.
outrun a cat. You could not outrun a cat. Are you kidding me?
Of course I could.
No, there's a chance.
You could
Me and a
outrun
cat in a
yourself.
race.
If you raced a hedgehog, there's a chance you'd get ahead, and then think you were so far ahead that you could have a sleep, and then the hedgehog would beat you because you were sleeping.
Well, I'd never know, because what happened, what they should do is let the hedgehog go first, because every time I tried to catch up with the hedgehog would moved a little bit more, and I'll never be able to catch up with it. So, but I was going to say, I can appreciate the funky music, comedy, and notoriously slow creature. For me, though, it just isn't as fun. The power-ups aren't as creative. Losing rings whenever you get hit is extremely annoying. I hated that he was difficult to control when in super speed mode. Maybe it's just because I played Mario so much as a kid. Which is why I don't like Sonic as much. I appreciate it as a game, and it was certainly a fantastic rival for Mario in the early 90s, but at the end of the day, it's just not Mario, is it? Question mark.
I think
Well, as a counterpoint to Lisanne, I think it might actually be Mario. I mean, if you're looking at the screen right now and you're seeing what I'm seeing, it's very similar. Almost identical. So, Lisanne, I'm afraid you're going to have to be correct.
I think I actually just saw Mario in that demo.
I'll quickly go what I think of the game. Before you, James, if you don't mind.
Well, I do mind, but carry on. I'll sit here and be unhappy.
Deal with it. I realised from playing this game this week, I've never played Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I've only ever played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I proved that to myself by the moment I turned it on. I went to hold down and do a speed up, and went, "What's he doing?"
Oh yeah,
Spin it
He
down.
he just looked down. I was like, "Sonic, speed up, you silly boy!" And it kind of got me really interested to think that
Doesn't have voice commands.
Such quite a core. I mean, I'd say that's quite a big gameplay design element that came in at 2. You could charge up Sonic. Wasn't in the first one, and that got me quite interested because I was thinking, well, that would say to me that Sonic 1 was still kind of a testing ground almost. They released it, and it surprised me they were bringing such a change of design by the second game.
Well, if you compare Super Mario Bros. On the NES with Super Mario World,
I guess so, but that will surprise me, and it's maybe because I played Sonic 2, and maybe this is what followed through for me for the rest of the game when I was playing Sonic. I got to Marble Zone, and I couldn't believe how much of a platform it became.
Yeah.
But I was like, why can I not
is
run
one of the worst
fast?
ones for platforming.
Yeah, no,
Like, I was just kind of like, this is... It was really precise, and actually, difficulty-wise, it got really hard suddenly.
Yeah.
I was like, blimey,
But it's
this is
fine,
really
because in Marble
hard.
Zone you've got possibly the most memorable bass line out of any video game music ever.
But what I found really strange was it's the way that they give you Sonic, and they give you this idea, they tease you with the speed and the fast and the moving and the colours and the really bright, and they dump you in Marble Zone, which is incredibly slow and structured and rigid.
But if they didn't have that, we'd be criticising them for having every level being the same series of jumps.
So.
And
I don't know.
or that the
I
game's
think
too
it's kind
short.
of-
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a bit lazy in a way. It just doesn't. I think Sonic the 2 improved on it a lot.
No, it
by
did,
giving
definitely.
challenging levels. It also had this nice feeling of speed. No, but what I mean, you're right. But what I mean is, it's strange to have a character whose primary thing appears to be being able to run fast, and then putting in levels where you're stopping at every point, making him do specific jumping and platforming, and that kind of put me off the game a little bit. I was never really a big, huge fan of. Again, I was a Mario kid growing up, but saying that, I do really like this. I like the fact that they were trying to make a rival for Mario. They could have just made a Mario clone, and they didn't. They made something that is very unique, and I wouldn't really know how to describe this type of platformer. I mean, I guess I want to say speed almost, or something.
It's
I
a
don't
Twitch
know.
platformer.
There's a few games that have tried to do it. I remember Conker's, not Conker's Birthday. There was a
Bubsy, yeah, Bubsy.
Tried to do a similar sort of speed sort of game running. At times, was it? What was the game that was on the PlayStation? It was you played like a jester. I can't think what it was called now.
It wasn't Pandemonium, was it?
Pandemonium, did that not get quite fast at times in
know.
platforming? I can't remember, but even Crash Bandicoot in a way at sometimes would have fast speed levels reacting. So I don't know what type of platform that is, but I appreciate that Sonic took that, did it really well, had a good job of it. So I think Sonic the Hedgehog is a good game. I think Sonic 2 is a lot better, but it's a nice game. I like it.
It's a nice game.
Can't really
gentle.
say much more about it. It's not my favourite game, but
I think it's quite it's quite a unique game.
I like
Especially the zones in particular are really unique. Like there's nothing. It doesn't really have your archetypal. Well, it does have your green hill zone. Well, that was one of the first ones to do it, but it doesn't have like fire, ice. Things like that. It has quite inventive stuff like the Marble Zone.
It's almost a genre in and of itself, really. I mean, it's quite self-contained. It doesn't actually draw as... I mean, Mario was very derivative in a lot of its gameplay decisions and thematic stuff, but this is actually... It's quite unique. especially in terms of art style. I mean, if you actually look at it, each individual tile is like it's quite segmented. It reminds me a little bit of Minecraft. It's very striking.
I mean, it's on screen at the moment. The title screen is actually really pretty.
Yeah, it's really
better
nice.
The water
and
in
then
the
you've got
background,
the pseudo 3D. In the back.
It's very Afterburner style.
But look at every chunk there. It's just if you saw that, you'd know what game it was from.
Yeah, it's got that art style that everyone knows. If you see.
Favourite thing of the game, actually, we've already spoken about it, but I do love the mechanic of how they've managed to take an arcade game where you put coins in lives and turn that into the whole system of collecting rings, and then when you drop the rings when you get hit, it's the psychological thing of seeing all your rings explode into the air and seeing 50 rings bounce around and you quickly scramble to try to pick them up again. I really like that. I think that's really cool. I love that mechanic. Rather than have a life, I know there are lives in the game, but rather than have that in the game, I think that's a really clever method of... Like Mario gets big when he takes a mushroom, Sonic drops all his rings. I really like that.
I always felt that I felt like the amount of rings you have should equate to how many lives you have, almost like how many hits you can take. Because I don't like that it's binary. You have rings or you don't have rings.
Right.
You basically have 2 hits, rings then no rings, and you're dead. Like, I wish if you had like 20 rings, you'd get sort of more hit resistance or something. Then 30, even more, 40, even more.
I guess the theory I always had that the more rings you had, when you drop them all,
The more chance
the
you
more
have to...
chance to
Yeah,
collect them,
true.
if that makes sense.
True.
That's the only... I mean, you're right, though. I mean, having more rings doesn't actually have any impact on gameplay, right?
Well,
Apart from at the end, you might get a secret stage.
I think it's a pretty elegant mechanic.
James, what do you think of the game?
I've said mostly what I think, but I like it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. Actually, it stands up quite well. I think because it's quite arcadey, pick up and play. It feels quite streamlined for a game this old. Actually, more so than Mario. It feels getting from point A to point B is a bit more fun because you've got the slightly curved, sloping landscape, and just zooming along quickly. Even when the game's kind of holding your hand, and you're in a bit where it's essentially playing the game for you, which is quite a valid criticism.
I'd say graphically it's aged really well.
Yeah,
I think so.
definitely. I like that when he spins around, he's a perfect circle. Like, even though the spines should be different lengths, it's good. Musically and graphically, it's aged very well. It's very distinct, actually. And just overall, I mean, you've covered most of the bases. I think for Sega, this was kind of... If this game hadn't been released, we would not be talking about Sega anymore. They would have either gone bankrupt or just failed to release much else. And it's very, very influential, I think. More than anyone gives it credit for. Especially in terms of platforming, because everyone sort of gives the Crown and Volley a most influential platformer to Mario. But actually, if you look at a lot of the stuff that's going on, especially in terms of, again, moving from the beginning of the level to the end of the level, a lot of it comes from Sonic.
I was in CEX only last week buying Rock Band 1 for £2.50, as you do. And there was a boy there, and he was getting really, about 11 years old. He's really excited. He's really running around. And he goes, yes, they've got it. And I was thinking he's picking up Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty. He was picking up
He grabs
Sonic
a ring and leaps.
No,
like
he was picking up Sonic the Hedgehog on Xbox 360. Not even Sonic Generations, Sonic the Hedgehog, the really bad one.
Oh, man.
He was like, yeah, man, they've got it.
10-minute load times.
And she was like, all right, let's go get it. And it kind of made me interested because I was like, wow, does he not know that's a really rubbish game? And
then you went up and told him.
I was about to go to him, mate, get Call of Duty 4. Right? But no, and it kind of surprised me. And then just to quickly mention the amount of Sonic games there have been. It's actually, I'm pretty sure, I mean, looking at the list I've got here, I think it's more than Mario.
It's got to be.
It's ridiculous.
But there's a huge glaring difference between the Sonic games they've released and the Mario games they've released. So the number they've released doesn't really make a difference.
It doesn't, but it still shows that Sonic must have quite a lot of, I would say pulling power, but quite a lot of draw for gamers.
Oh, it still does. It's just a shame that they've kind of abused that.
But I don't know.
I think it's now just the only game that Sega's willing to make. So every time they decide to make a new game, it's like a different.
Well,
take
they
on
keep
the Sonic
trying.
franchise.
I like what they're doing as publishers, but they keep trying to make Sonic games.
They've got better.
I'm actually quite looking forward to the newest one.
Oh, Lost World.
Sonic Lost World, yeah.
Is it Lost World?
Yeah.
Because it's basically Sonic crossed with Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, I really like the look of that.
But
I haven't seen anything.
Again, it looked... I mean, Mario Galaxy looked amazing, but just the art style in general, but the Mario games always do. But Lost World has a really vibrant... And it's kind of a callback to this, because this is much more vibrant than Mario was.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of fuzzy, and it's kind of interesting looking, but simple, which is what I liked about this. Whereas... Actually, I'd like to talk about this, the context. Because this is my only other major point, so I think I'd get it out of the way now, and then you guys could talk for the rest of the episode. I realised that Sonic was in many ways... this is why I'm comparing it to Mario World so much, was an answer to Mario World, because Mario World was the main game for the SNES, and it was their mascot. And Sonic was a mascot for Sega. They were looking for a mascot, because Alex the Kid was just a kid, and he wants to put a human boy on the front of their console. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This could be you. No, everyone wants to be Sonic now, not Alex the Kid. Anyway, but clearly they were trying to differentiate themselves from Mario. Like you say, they weren't just doing a copycat, which I really respect them for, because they tried their own thing and it pretty much worked for a while there. I've noticed that the camera, I mean, there's a huge focus on speed. The camera's much closer in, which makes it feel faster, which is similar to what I was saying about the race scene in the car chase scene in Bourne Supremacy, because they had to do a lot of close camera angles to make it look faster, which is what they've done here. So the character's not actually moving that much faster than he is in Mario if you're running. It's just because it's so much closer, it gives you that feeling.
Yeah.
But the game focuses on fluid movement, it's got short levels, and it's a short game, and overall it focuses, as we've all said, on style over substance, on flash. And it's great in this because like it looks good, but there's not a lot of depth to the gameplay. It's mostly just...
Well, I mean, what constitutes depth? How's there more depth to Mario's gameplay than there's to Sonic's gameplay?
Some could argue that when there is a lot of depth, you don't notice it almost. When it's done well, it feels simple.
Maybe, but I feel like... Well,
no, I agree with Anthony. This game's succeeded because of marketing. Largely, I would say largely. They nailed it in terms of the atmosphere and the feel of the game.
Yeah, I think it's... I mean, there's not a lot of elements to it. It's running and jumping, essentially. And that's what Mario is, but there's a lot more hidden secrets. There's a lot more levels, for example. A lot more levels that you can't find without knowing where they are and everything. So there's things you can miss. And it's just in that sense. I mean, it's a much shorter game, and it's something you can go through in one sitting because that's what they intended. Whereas Mario, you need a save file, because otherwise, you can't get through all of it in one go, unless you're crazy. But Mario's bigger and it's more methodical, it feels slower, and I think the design philosophy reflects that because they put a lot more effort into it. Whereas in Sonic, like I was saying earlier, it's a bit rough around the edges. I think that reflects its style over substance approach.
I was going to say, just kind of to thinking about what you were saying, to show the impact, I guess, of Mario and Sonic. I guess if you were to, it's quite interesting when you think, if you were to describe to someone what Super Nintendo was like as a console and try to use words to describe it, or how you would describe the Mega Drive, you would use like the Mega Drive, you describe it as like a bit crazy, a bit edgy, but you're basically describing Sonic. Like, it's amazing when you think that these consoles, they didn't, when you were given them, sure, you got the aesthetic build of the console, but really it was the games that made it. And what people felt about Mega Drive and the Genesis, it's like we've joked on the show before, they're a bit edgy, a bit kooky. That came from Sonic. That was the style.
Yeah, it was the games they were
Sonic
able
is
to
the Mega
play.
Drive, basically.
Yeah, and it shows how much. And maybe that's why Sonic is still so popular, because I don't know, maybe he's just got that really good. I mean, and to be honest, like the PlayStation kind of carried it on with, I guess I want to say Lara Croft, really, or maybe Crash Bandicoot, like cool, new hit for grown-ups sort of thing.
But this kind of ties into, I guess, a now running theme of the show, which is that I like vibrant imagery and big explosions, and I like style over substance, which I think is why I like Sonic over Super Mario World. I obviously recognise as a fantastic, well-made game, but I have never completed Super Mario World, and I don't intend to, because it's a bit too frustrating and slow and long. Whereas this is just, it's all flash. It's like an action movie. So I like it for that, and I like what they did with it. The problem I think they have with that is that because Mario seemed to have so much more thought put into its design, Sonic suffered in the later generations, as we all know they have. I think because they had trouble translating this style to more complex consoles that required more complex games, because people started expecting games that were longer, had more features, and Mario was already built for that. They just translated it to 3D with Mario 64 and then polished on that kind of formula. Whereas this, they had to try and add more stuff, and they started adding more characters, which you saw in the early days with Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, but I think they should have stopped adding character stuff to Sonic 3, because 15 friends of Sonic is a bit much. And so I think they failed in that. Like, their legacy didn't really hold up, whereas Mario's...
Sonic Adventure Battle 2 was pretty awesome. No, honestly, that game was amazing.
I just can't...
They did try that. I mean, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2...
Sonic Adventure Battle 2,
and they
get it right.
But they always felt they were a little bit behind Mario. Like, Mario did a racing game, Sonic did Sonic R, Mario did the Olympics, Sonic came along for the ride.
They started out differentiating themselves, and they sort of tried to move back towards them by doing these like large 3D worlds with...
No, I agree.
But they have got a lot better recently, though. Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations,
Sonic
I think All-Star Racing.
But they've also done badly with the equivalent of this, which is Sonic 4. Then you attempt, but they give that to a different team, so it's not as if it's...
Isn't it weird how both Sonic and Mario have tried to recreate essentially the original games, just with different engines? Like, Mario's gone back to like New Super Mario Bros. And sort of the same gameplay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Two-dimensional.
But it's also interesting to note that they've succeeded with Mario, whereas they failed with Sonic.
They didn't succeed with Mario. It's a poor game.
Have you played it 4-player co-op?
New Super Mario Bros. U is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
not.
And the new one, New Super Mario World on the Wii
It's
U.
hackney.
I don't know what that
It's been
is.
done.
You're
It's
gonna-
the same game.
You're
I think,
You're going to buy
20
that,
years
yeah?
ago.
Gonna buy that?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna
Good,
buy
we'll
that.
play that. Good.
The thing is, I don't think Sega care. That's why they know. No, because they know anything with Sonic on it. It's like you're saying, anything with Sonic on it, kids are going to buy it, so they don't care.
But that's the problem. They're appealing to this very young demographic, and that's fine if they want to do that, but they're going to lose out a lot of money from the adult demographic, whereas adults and children alike will buy Mario and really enjoy it. So Nintendo have hit on and stuck with this formula that works for everyone, whereas Sonic Team have just relegated themselves to
Do you think they
kids' games.
do Sonic Generations so that Dad can play the 2D version and the kids can play the 3D version? Do you think
Sonic
that's why?
Generations was the brainchild of some genius that saw what worked with the 2D Sonic games and what kind of worked with the 3D Sonic games, and melded it into one and just got rid of all the crappy stuff from all the other games. So they took all the best stuff from across the years, and put it in one game, and that's why it was fantastic. Apart from the final boss, which was taken from... It was just terrible.
What do you guys think is the worst Sonic game?
Oh, God. But,
Sonic 2006?
there was one that
Yeah.
came out that I never even played. It came out of
Heroes.
nowhere called Sonic and the...
Hero. I liked Sonic Heroes. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I haven't
Sonic
played it,
Heroes
I've just heard
once.
it's bad.
There was one that
crazy.
came out that I didn't even know was coming out called Sonic and the Black Knight or something.
Oh, yeah, with
And it just
swords.
came out of nowhere.
It was on
I
the
like,
Wii,
"What's
right?"
this?" I was like, what's this game?
See, that, I bet, wasn't Sonic to begin with. They were going to just make it like a night game so you could swing a sword.
No, I
And then
wouldn't
they were
be
like, "Oh, we'll put
surprised."
Sonic on it because then it will sell.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was always Sonic, because they seem to be trying a new gimmick with each one. And the new gimmick with this, the latest one, is essentially kind of a...
Mario Galaxy, basically.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy is the gimmick,
Which is
but...
quite a shame, but,
No, because it's a good gimmick, so I like how the direction they're going. If they can steal the right gimmicks, that's fine, but they keep on putting these bad gimmicks in, like werewolves,
I think
werehogs.
Sega just needs to be clever. I mean, they gave Sonic Racing...
Sega just need to be clever.
No, but what I mean is they gave Sega Sonic Racing All-Stars Transform. They gave that to Sumo Digital, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
and they were
Yeah.
the guys who did Outrun. So they just, they prove themselves with one game, and then they say, right, okay, well, let's give them Sonic and let them work on that.
That was a
That's good.
fantastic
That's
game.
great. That's
And
a good idea.
Generations was also a fantastic game, but that's because it kind of
Can-
went back to the old style,
Can we quickly talk about the fact that, I'm sorry to say, guys, but the Sonic Summer Jam that was happening again this year. So it's a bit of a story for our long-time listeners will know. This time last year, we went to go Reds.
This is for you, Janosch.
Yeah, this is for Janosch. We went to Reds last year and we turned up and there was a massive queue. We were queuing up and there was people queued up as Sonic. We're like, what the hell? And it turns out there was a Sonic Summer Jam 2012.
You're
We
telling
couldn't
me
even-
we've missed it again?
I'm sorry to say that tickets went on sale. I ran up there, tried to snap up a few, and they're already gone.
God damn it.
Sonic Summer Jam, and I even tweeted them and went, "Oh man, we're hosts of Retrograde, a huge podcast." And we
That's
didn't
the
get
thing.
tickets.
I think Sonic
No
has a
reply.
much more dedicated fan base
Oh,
than
yeah,
Mario
definitely.
does. You don't have Mario
I'm-
Con.
They're rabid, man.
Also, Sonic had a much better cartoon,
I think it is because
Oh,
of
I
that.
don't know.
much better than Mario.
The Sonic cartoon was amazing.
amazing.
I think it is because
Which
the-
one? So many of them.
What was that
Sonic
food he
the
always ate? Like
Hedgehog.
chili hot dogs or something?
I don't know, but he was so
Chili
much cooler.
corn dogs.
What's
I,
the one?
I always wanted one of them.
What's the one where Sonic's in like a rock band or something? That was in one of the cartoons.
That's in your dreams, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's because Sega put so much effort into getting as much money as they could from Sonic that they built this whole universe around him, which they haven't really done with Mario.
Well, they had Sega World in London and the Trocadero, where you
Yeah,
go on Sonic
so-
rides and stuff like that.
That sounded amazing.
So Sonic has this big meta
Rubbish
universe
about.
built around it, and I think that's why there's such a huge fan base, because there's a deep well of crazy stories they can draw from. Whereas Mario's got some crappy films to its name, and some...
Do you think if they released Sonic now, if he never existed back then, if he came out now, do you think he would be viewed as cool, or do you think people would look at him and be like, "Oh my god"? Like, do you think people would see through it?
I think his style, the blue, the aggressive eyes, the spikes, and the red
Like the
shoes,
waggling of
it
the
does have a
finger.
really. He has got a very aesthetically pleasing style.
It's
to
so 90s though. People
Yeah,
look
it's
at that
really
and think
90s.
it's
He's
a
got
bit nah.
Tood, I would say.
Apparently,
I don't know. He looks when you're playing the game. He looks like he doesn't want to be playing. He's just like, "Get me to the
Yeah.
end of this bloody level." Will you?"
Yeah, but they got rid of
frowning
that
at all
with the later
times.
games. He became much more of a wimp.
And there's always the thing of like, has he just got one eye, or like, what the hell's up with his eye? Like, he's just got one eye.
He's a
behind.
Cyclops, but he's always frowning.
I read that his shoes were based on Michael Jackson's boots from a Bad video,
Wow.
and the dude that designed him, sorry, I can't remember his name, coloured them red because he was trying to think of really famous people, and he thought of Santa. Apparently,
There are apparently again a lot of links between Sonic and Michael Jackson with things
oh
like
yeah,
Sonic 3.
yeah, because he did.
Sonic is
music
also
and
set
stuff.
in the same universe as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because he was a hedgehog that got covered in radioactive waste and became Sonic the Hedgehog.
Is that true?
No,
that
it's
can't
not
be
true at
true.
all.
No, I'm pretty
Not
sure he
true at
was
all.
like invented by Dr.
But,
Robotnik or something.
I know the
Oh, no, that was
Turtles are in-
no, that was
Metal
Met.
Sonic.
There is the turtles.
No, that was Shadow, I think.
The turtles are set in the same universe as another character who got infected by the same nuclear waste. And I wish I knew what that character was now. And every comic book fan's going to be going, oh my god. But yeah, the same waste that infected another person. Someone like Cyclops, something like that.
I think, wasn't it like Daredevil or something?
Yeah, it might be Daredevil. The same
Maybe.
goo that made Daredevil blind also infected the turtles.
It was something
I think
stupid.
Daredevil
like
went blind from radioactive goo.
It was something like that.
Quick mention about the music. Did we talk about the music much?
Yeah,
a little bit.
bit.
You guys all
iconic music.
You all agree with me that Twilight Zone music is the best?
No.
I
And then
don't.
we moved on.
The music from
Starlight Zone,
Green Hill
rather,
Zone,
Starlight
I
Zone.
think again, it's like the art style. Everyone knows that music, and everyone knows the invincibility music. But the music in Sonic 2 and 3 was better.
Was it drowning in this game?
Yeah,
In Sonic 1? So
Yeah.
it had the...
Oh, yeah, that's a big point to
Do
note.
you know who composed this game?
it was a J-pop band. Sorry,
Go on.
I don't know.
don't know his name.
A guy called Masato Nakamura, who's famous in
Now say it in a way that isn't offensive
who
to
is,
an entire
yeah.
country.
yeah, sorry, who is famous in Japan for being the bass player in a band called Dreams Come True.
Dreams come true. Well,
Yeah,
That's why it's so funky.
His dream certainly came true.
yeah.
he's the bass player. Did you say?
he was.
That's
That
why
would-
it's
that
got
would
that funky
explain-
bass
yeah.
line.
Can't hold that. Yeah, bass line in it.
That would explain why it's nothing but
So-
bass.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say about Sonic the Hedgehog?
It's got one button for actions.
Yeah, it is a one-button game, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
one. I mean, it's not one button the same way as Cannonball is, like a or something like that, because that is literally one button.
Yeah.
This has got directions, but I like
that's
how
why it reminds me of a racing game. 'Cause you basically, especially in this sort of time period, racing games will accelerate left and right. Sometimes with like an action to use weapons, but otherwise just that, and it's
Break.
very similar.
But yeah, it's also similar to Super Meat Boy you compared it to earlier, which also
Yes.
had just directions
Yeah,
and
it's
one
one
button.
button.
Oh no, that had
Well,
run as
actually,
well.
it had you need run and jump.
Yeah.
And there were wall jumps.
But since I was running throughout the entire game, run wasn't really a button in Super Meat Boy.
yeah,
There's a
but if
couple
you
of
wanted to,
features-
complete it,
Oh,
then,
sorry.
you need to not run. 'Cause that's-
Well, I did. So
you must
There's a
have.
couple of features in this one which I think I miss in the later ones.
You said the jump thing after.
Yeah, so when you finish a stage, you can jump and little targets will appear on the screen, and you'll get score for them, just as you go through the spinning sign. And I don't know why they took that out because it's really good.
this is one of those
It's really-
cases where they did improve on it almost immeasurably with sequels.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And not the later sequels, which we discussed and were generally terrible. But Sonic 2, I think, was the peak of Sonic games. Sonic 3 added a lot more depth, so it was more Mario-esque. But it added a bit too much.
I thought Knuckles was a bit of a git, to be honest.
No, he could glide,
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick.
You had
You could
massive
climb walls.
fists.
and you could play,
Badass.
and you could play through
There's a
different
great
levels.
comic book, and I can't think who it is. I think it's like Boxer Comics or something. Do a great set of Sonic comics. That's so
Archie?
funny. It might be.
No, Archie Comics did
I did do, yeah.
comic.
Some quick trivia. There was originally going to be a sound test feature in the game with Sonic appearing as a lead singer in a rock band. This was not used in the final product. Here we go. The second act of the Spring Yard Zone is the one of only 2 stages in Sonic history that has more than one possible exit. Get out.
What's the other one?
Don't know, didn't get that. And the famous
We're not discussing that game today, Mark.
jingle at the start of the game is estimated to take up to possibly an eighth of the 4 megabit cartridge size. The Sega.
Oh, because it's voice.
I always thought as well that Sonic ran across the screen, but that's only in Sonic 2.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that is,
he
yeah.
feels it in
Also,
himself.
I love the way that in this Sonic in the title screen is holding up one finger, as if they knew he was going to do more games. But they only
Well-
gave him, and I think they purposely gave him 5 fingers, thinking they might have to do 5 games. I'm surprised he didn't have like 20 fingers.
Well, that's
by the
also
end.
kind of a universal symbol of a kind
Yeah.
of condescending. I'm better than you.
Yeah, but why was Sonic before starting the game going, oh yeah?
Because that's like his attitude. That's
He's got
the
tude,
first
dude.
Introduction to him.
Dude.
Apostrophe Tude.
One of the reasons Sonic can't swim is that one of the designers, Yuji Naka, mistakenly thought that hedgehogs couldn't swim.
Can they?
Hedgehog
And
swim?
apparently, yeah, they can. He saw one in the zoo and went, oh no, what have I
Zoo.
done?
Oh,
I can't change it now. It ships tomorrow.
Just,
Well, it made me wonder if kids have got hedgehogs and hold them in the water going dun 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 dun, dun like that.
And they're giving him an air bubble. He's like,
When they die, they just go. "Ooh."
And the hedgehog locks on.
fall
and
through the
fucks him up.
fall through the floor.
Interestingly, not many people reviewed it on IMDb, but 97 people did, and it got an average of 7.7 out of 10. Which
is that
Why
good
are
fun,
you?
isn't it?
Why do you always go with the IMDb rating?
I don't think it's fascinating to see what people have been.
Because IMDb
rating it.
is not that
Because you
big for
can
games.
you can break it down by demographic on IMDb.
So far, a
down.
quick glance with my eyes at the sales tells me that Sonic the Hedgehog sold 15 million, which Sonic the
1
Hedgehog
5 or
1 sold
5 0?
15 million. Sonic the Hedgehog 2
Wait,
sold
15?
6 million.
1.5.
1.5 million.
Wow.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 sold in the US only 1.2 million.
Wow.
So
That's
Sonic the
not
Hedgehog 1 was the biggest selling game by quite a
Why
way.
did you buy then? If that's it was
The
good.
next biggest one, bizarrely, 2007, Sonic the Hedgehog on mobile phones sold 8 million in the US and Europe.
Wow.
Boom. And then
Really?
Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, because Sonic got desperate and was like, Mario, please put me in a good game. That sold 11.3 million. Oh, sorry.
That was on the Wii, though. That was...
Yeah. And
if you got a popular game on the Wii, you were basically home free.
And that's about all my trivia. Mark, you said you had some
I've
trivia.
got some trivia.
What's your trivia? Go
Well,
on.
apart from my awesome Michael
Don't
Jackson
overshadow my trivia, though.
Well, everyone knows about him being called Mr. Needlemouse to begin with, right?
That
was his original name. And I know that when a Genesis drive came out originally, it was packaged with Altered Beast, and they started packaging Sonic the Hedgehog with it as soon as it came out, and they actually sent not letters, but you could write into Sega if you were one of those who'd bought a Genesis with Altered Beast, and then they'd send you Sonic for free.
It's a good game
To make up for it. There's nothing wrong with Altered Beast, but it's not really... It's
always surprised when I go into second-hand sales shops, even just down the road in CX, because the Mega Drive cases were so just robust, solid blocks. They're quite cheap. You can get Sonic the Hedgehog down the road for like £4 because they last. Like they got you had to run over them in a car to get them to do damage.
Which is the exact opposite of the PS1 cases.
Oh yeah, and the SNES boxes.
They went downhill.
Before you'd even got them home, you're like, what's happened?
Disintegrating in the
someone done to my
Same with the
box?
N64 boxes, right? They were cardboard.
Oh, N64. If you find a good copy of N64, it's incredible.
And then the GBA boxes. I don't understand Game Boy Advance boxes. I don't understand why they kept using cardboard. I guess it was cheaper.
Way
but
cheaper.
Didn't last forever.
But yeah, no. So Mega Drive games still stand the test of time.
Are they the ones that are on like the weird graph paper type background?
Yeah, that was
was Master System.
Master System.
Yeah.
The Gigabit cartridge.
I think the original Sonic one had like it was a checkered background, but that's because the game used a lot of checkered, I think.
Yeah. They ported this to... I think it was to Master System.
Yeah.
They
Well, it was so
ported-
popular.
They're slightly different games, though. It's not...
Sonic the
a remake
Hedgehog's one of
it.
those games that's like it just joins a list of games that whenever a new console comes out, there's always a port.
I find that really weird, though.
I think it's on 360.
Yeah.
I think it's on PS3.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
they're
is.
doing Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2. It's even on Ouya. You can download that. I mean, that's how much they're like, what's that new console? Stick it on it. Even appeared on the Leapfrog, which is like a children's entertainment product. There's a version of
But-
Sonic for that.
It's because Sega's always trying to grab as much money as they can, and they realise that the early Sonic titles are the ones that actually people like. So, unlike Nintendo releasing a new Mario game, like a new one on each console, Sega just released the old ones on new consoles. Mainly because it's easy to emulate them, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. That wraps up everything. I guess we'd have to just quickly go into the retrograde part of the show. Who chose? Anthony, you chose this. How are we going to review this? Axe?
Types of ancient weapon. No. The reason we keep on mentioning Axe at every show because some people might not have listened to every show. The reason we mention
Don't
Axe.
spoil the illusion.
Yeah, it's not good. Don't.
No, but it's
They
just
can
then it's,
listen if they want to know.
then it's just an in joke.
We had a tweet. We had a tweeter this week who said he loved our show so much he downloaded pretty much all of them in a row and just binged on our show for about 2 weeks. Which I was well happy about.
Yeah, so he'll know.
That person knows about Axe.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh, so we keep it a secret. Okay, so if you want to know why we keep on saying Axe when it comes up, listen to all of our past shows,
memories.
and then you'll find out. It's a bit of an in joke otherwise, but this week you have to choose it by grading it as something you get in a television box in Sonic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what?
One of the ones you jump on, so it could be like the rings or the fire shield.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Sonic 1, it can be Sonic 1, 2 or 3 and Knuckles.
You're crazy.
Because then you got lots of choice.
Well, I'll just go
Crazy.
for. Didn't you have one where it would give you like fast shoes for something?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was going.
I'm just going to jump in there and say that's my choice. I'm going to go with fast shoes because
Okay,
it's a fast
Nice
game.
choice, James.
And
Okay.
stylish, and shoes are cool. You need them to walk, and this game's about walking really fast.
And they were Michael
Something like
Jackson's shoes, so
that. Yeah, so
They've gotta be
have-
stylish.
They have a thing built into them that lets you lean over really far.
I think that was actually pegs in the stage, so you need the stage with them. They can't, but that's how they get you. You have to buy the stage
Just find
separately.
a stage.
I'll just go for a coin. Oh my god!
A coin.
You mean a ring?
That's the sound of the beast. Something big going on down
Is
there.
it a
That's the
police?
third fire.
No, it's the same one. It's going around in circles.
The same one. Just
It can't find the building that's on fire.
Yeah, this building's on fire. It's trying to create like a tornado
guy
of
leaning
wind
out the window.
around.
No, Dave, I'm pretty sure it's a different building that's on fire. We want 1334 East Street. No, you said coin, but that's Mario.
I'm going to choose Anthony the coin box because
you mean a ring box?
ring box. Sorry,
And you get 10 rings with that. That's a good deal.
because that's what you kind of. It's the main fundamental thing about the game. It's the coins of the king, and it's just kind of. I've got no comparison. I just couldn't think of much. No, I
It's
just
shiny.
the
You could say it's shiny.
It's shiny. It's golden. It lasts quite a while. You know, it's a
Like the
precious.
box.
It's a precious gem. But you can lose them quite easily. It can, you get hurt. You lose them quite easily.
And gold, they're made out of gold, right?
Diamonds aren't forever.
Well, no, they're made out of gold.
Sonic is the same.
And golds are a bit soft. I think you should have gone down that route.
Gold's a bit
because they're not diamond rings.
Yeah. It doesn't shine bright like a diamond. This game certainly not. So that would be my thing.
Okay.
Made no sense.
Did you?
Why not? Okay. All right. I'm going to choose the Invincibility box. It's iconic. Everyone knows the music it plays when you hit the Invincibility box. It's very flashy, very in your face. But it's not fun forever.
Doesn't last.
Yeah.
It doesn't last.
And you still fall in the pit and die, even though you're invincible.
But every time you get one, you feel fuzzy and warm inside.
Oh.
Especially the music. Love that music.
Anthony?
I'm going to choose because they did say any of the first 3 Sonic games. So I'm going to choose the fire bubble pickup from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Because it's pretty to look at and it's flashy. And it's really cool. Fire is definitely cool. People like looking at it.
Fire's pretty hot, actually. It's not
Fire's cool, kids.
Well, cool in the metaphorical sense, but hot in the literal sense.
Kids, did you know that if you get like a canister of hairspray and a lighter, you can make it into a makeshift flamethrower? Try it at
We're going
home.
to beep all this out. It's illegal.
Come on.
Yeah, if you stick an egg in a microwave, it just explodes.
But
your childhood must have been so fun, Jack.
Yeah. Put ants in a microwave, and they detect where the radio waves are, and they'll move into the safe area of a radio.
Oh, really?
waves. Yeah. That's why a plate spins, so the food gets all the microwaves passing
If you
through it.
cut a grape in half and then put the 2 halves together and put it in a microwave, it'll create like big bursts of plasma.
Oh, really? Interesting. Go on, Anthony.
microwave grade. But like fire, if you get too close and look at it, with a sharp eye, it kind of burns you. There's some problems there, like it's fiery hot. Or in the case of this game, it's a bit rough around the edges. So, yeah, that's why I chose that.
So you get burnt.
Yeah, if you get too close and really start thinking about it with your skin.
You'll get...
I'm trying to compare it to fire and keep it a metaphor as well.
It's a great invention, though. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's good. Okay.
Sounds like a ring out of 10.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, you can visit our website at retrogradeshow.com, where you can find a back catalogue including all of our in-jokes. You can also follow us on Twitter at Retrograde Show, which you can look out for that tweet which we'll be putting out. You can retweet to our competition, and don't forget to write us a review on iTunes. Every reviewer for us on iTunes gets a free Retrograde badge. I looked at our download stats. We have 10 listeners in Vietnam.
Wow, big in Vietnam.
I know, big in Vietnam. I don't know why.
How are you going to send the badges there?
People are learning.
If you live in Vietnam, please don't write us a review. I can't send you a badge.
No, write us a review. We won't send a badge to Vietnam. But people are learning English just to listen to our show.
They sit around in classes and they all
Using
like
our
to go,
show.
children.
They used to teach English, yeah.
Yeah, they used to teach English.
We speak English in this
But don't forget that you can enter our competition by tweeting at us with our at tag at Retrograde Show on
Just
Twitter.
follow us on Twitter. We have some great tweets coming.
Or we'll also be, because we'll be announcing what game we're giving away.
Even if you're a spam bot, just follow us. Well, you could win.
We'll also be doing a tweet that you can retweet to enter as well, so that's more direct.
Why wouldn't you? Go buy an iPad just for that. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Don't need an iPad to retweet something.
Do you know what we're playing in 2 weeks' time? I'm
forgot.
going to tell you right now. It's The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh,
Chosen by the Zan.
PlayStation 1, isn't it?
No, I think it's
2.
Xbox, GameCube, and PS2. Simpsons Hit and Run.
I've never played that.
It's basically the poor man's Grand Theft Auto for children.
It's brilliant. But we'll save that for next episode.
Or is it?
Is it? Ooh. So that's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Chase McFadden.
What the f***?
Sorry. You go last. I know you do. Okay. Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
I think it's because Lizanne's not here this week.
It threw me out. I didn't replace her name on the list. I was about to go goodbye from Lizanne Vischer, then I have to go bye. She didn't say much for the episode. Okay, let's start again. Goodbye from Mark Toole.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Jason McFadden.
We chose to do a quite nice sugar-free lemonade, as Anthony pointed out to me recently. So if you like lemonade, then follow us.